Welcome back to Who Knows, the channel where we dive deep into the world's greatest mysteries, darkest secrets, and fascinating unknowns. Whether it's history's unsolved crimes, curious events, or questions that have puzzled humanity for centuries, we've got you covered. Today we're taking you back to the foggy streets of Victorian London, where a series of brutal murders shook the city to its core. This is the chilling tale of one of the most notorious, and still unidentified, serial killers in history, Jack the Ripper. Buckle up as we explore the terror, theories, and lingering mystery behind these horrific crimes. But before we dive in, if you enjoy unraveling mysteries and love exploring the unknown, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode. London, 1888. A thick fog blankets the narrow, dimly lit streets of Whitechapel. The cobblestone alleys echo with the clatter of footsteps. The stench of poverty and crime fills the air. In these shadowy corners lurks a figure who would go down in history as one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper remains one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries. His brutal murders, which terrorized London over 130 years ago, have captivated historians, criminologists, and the public alike. The identity of this vicious killer has never been confirmed, but his gruesome acts left a trail of fear and speculation. In the late 19th century, Whitechapel was one of the poorest districts in London. Overcrowded and plagued by poverty, it was home to thousands of residents struggling to survive. Prostitution was rampant, as many women turned to the streets to earn a living. Among these women were Jack the Ripper's victims. 5 women are widely recognized as his canonical victims, although some believe the actual number could be higher. These victims were all prostitutes who worked in Whitechapel's seedy streets. Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Each of these women met a gruesome fate. Jack the Ripper targeted his victims late at night, often in dark alleys. The killings were brutal, marked by precision cuts and in some cases horrific mutilation. The first murder attributed to Jack the Ripper occurred on August 31, 1888. Mary Ann Nichols, a 43-year-old woman, was found dead in Bucks Row. Her throat had been slashed twice and her abdomen was deeply cut. Yet this was only the beginning. The second victim, Annie Chapman, was discovered just over a week later on September 8th. She had suffered even more gruesome injuries. Her throat was cut, and her abdomen had been slashed open, with parts of her organs removed. The terror escalated on September 30th, a night known as the Double Event. Jack the Ripper claimed 2 victims in one night. Elizabeth Stride was found with her throat cut, but she was not mutilated. Some believe that the killer was interrupted before he could complete his ritual. But less than an hour later, Catherine Eddowes was found dead in Mitre Square, her body horrifically mutilated. Her face was slashed, and her organs were once again removed. The final canonical victim was Mary Jane Kelly, who was found on November 9th in her room at Miller's Court. Her murder was the most savage. Her body was so mutilated that it was barely recognizable. The killer had taken his time, completely disfiguring her. The police were baffled. Scotland Yard launched an extensive investigation, but forensic science in the 1880s was in its infancy. The brutality of the murders shocked the public, and newspapers fueled fear with sensationalist headlines. The killer taunted the authorities and the press. Several letters were sent claiming to be from Jack the Ripper himself. One of the most famous, known as the Dear Boss letter, was signed with the chilling pseudonym that would go down in history. "I am down on whores, and I shan't quit ripping them till I do get buckled. Yours truly, Jack the Ripper." Another letter, the From Hell letter, was sent with part of a human kidney, supposedly from one of the victims. Though it's debated whether the letters were truly from the killer or hoaxes, they added to the growing hysteria. Over the years, countless theories have emerged about the identity of Jack the Ripper. Suspects ranged from local butchers to high-ranking members of society. Some even believe that the killer was a member of the British royal family. One of the most popular suspects was Montague John Druitt, a barrister who committed suicide shortly after the last murder. Others pointed to Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant who had a history of mental illness and lived near the crime scenes. There was also the theory that Jack the Ripper was a doctor or someone with surgical skills, given the precision with which the victims were mutilated. Sir William Gull, Queen Victoria's physician, was named as a suspect in some conspiracy theories. Despite hundreds of investigations, modern profiling, and advanced forensic techniques, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains unknown. He has become a figure of legend, his name synonymous with mystery and horror. The Ripper's reign of terror came to an abrupt end after the murder of Mary Jane Kelly. Was he caught? Did he flee? Or did he simply stop? No one knows. But his legacy lives on in popular culture. Books, films, and endless documentaries have all speculated about who Jack the Ripper truly was. In the end, Jack the Ripper didn't just kill his victims, he claimed something far greater, the peace of mind of an entire city. The story of Jack the Ripper is not just a tale of murder, it's a dark chapter in the history of London, a city gripped by fear. And while we may never know who the Ripper really was, his shadow still looms large over the foggy streets of Whitechapel. This has been a look into the chilling mystery of one of the world's most notorious serial killers. The question remains, who was Jack the Ripper? If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to Who Knows for more stories about the world's darkest mysteries. And that, my friends, is the terrifying and still unsolved story of Jack the Ripper. Over 130 years later, we're still left with more questions than answers. Who was this shadowy figure who preyed on the women of Whitechapel? Will we ever know the truth, or is this a secret that will remain buried in the fog of history? Let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you believe Jack the Ripper was? And if you have any theories or other cases you'd like to see covered on Who Knows, drop those suggestions below. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into history's darkest corners, give this video a thumbs up and share it with fellow mystery lovers. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that will make you wonder, who knows what else is out there waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.